This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, are the real stars of today's show, because we are here to talk about sim racing news. Happy Monday to all of you. Well, you guys know me well enough. I'm always excited. I'm excited on Fridays because it kicks off the weekend. I'm excited on Monday because it kicks off the week. So here we are, ready for a new week of racing, here to talk about sim racing news, and I hope you all had a great weekend. And I'm going to tell you, today is... Since I started doing the pit stop, I think today is the shortest amount of news that I've ever had. So we're going to talk about a few extra things beyond the news today, just to keep things going. Which also means today is one of those rare opportunities. If there's something, a topic that you want to talk about, a question that you've had for me and you've been holding back on, go ahead and hit me with it. We will have a little extra time today, and I will pay a little extra attention to the chat, just to make sure that we are covering everything we want. So... before I even get to the news, we have the Patreon group. I'm sure if you're not a member of it, you've heard about it, you've heard us talk about it. And the guys there, we hang out all day long, and they all give me a hard time. They kid me. We all kid each other. And Joa, a great friend of the show and one of the Patreon group, has been doing a bunch of Photoshop pictures of me. And so the latest one came in yesterday, and this is me hosting the late night show. And so I just want to thank him. He brings a smile to my face very often, and everybody in the Patreon group with photos like this. And obviously a guy of great humor. This is actually my all-time favorite. There was the Grand Theft Auto one, which I don't have handy. But anyway, good fun humor there. And if you have some great Photoshops, go ahead and send them to me, and maybe I'll put them on the show as well. So what do we have in the news today? Not a lot to talk about, but we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about as well. The biggest sim racing team on Earth, in my opinion, is Team Redline. And I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to just get that default, automatic, we are the best. They have been for decades. However, there are a lot of great teams really in pursuit of them right now. So I think you're about to see them fighting some of their hardest times of being the best that they've ever seen before. But here is their lineup for the iRacing World Championship. And you've got, Alexei Yakala, Freck Schothaust, Ollie Pakala, and Gregor Hutu. If I were going to pick an all-star team, these would be the guys still, or at least a good portion of them. So that is a great lineup of cars. Here's what they look like. That's what their Formula 1 cars will look like for the season. And I'm sure they're expecting a lot as the new season starts right now. We are there. We are at the beginning of racing season for big prestigious leagues like this and real-life racing as well. I mentioned it, and I'm going to tie back to this, but tonight is the deadline to get in there on Rally Mexico. So if you own WRC 7, you want to see where you are in the world class leaderboard, get out there and try, and then send me photos or let us know how you did. I want to know how you guys are doing. I'm pushing you, and I am going to bring this full circle, but I want to encourage and push you guys to get out there and challenge yourselves. I'm not saying you have to win. I'm saying maybe you can get into the top 300 and impress yourself. That's what it was for me with World's Fastest Gamer. I wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to qualify, but I want to see where I could get on the ladder board. Patron race. Yes, you guys. Patron race we are going to talk about today after the show and in more detail. We're going to finalize that. It got derailed once again because of a few things, and I apologize for that. I thought I had a new Dakar photo, and I don't. I lied to you guys. I was so short on news that I was like, well, of course I'm going to play the daily Dakar. This is what we looked at Friday. That's no news. Daniel, I sure did. That is something we're going to come back to in just a moment, actually. So, beyond that, Ricmotech. They took part in the 12 hours of Sebring, and they won their split. So, my hat's off to the guys at Ricmotech, their team. I know a lot of their drivers, so well done by those guys. And this brings me to one of those personal topics that I want to talk about. I ran in the 12-hour of Sebring. And if you haven't been following along with the show, I was out of town for a week. Then I came back. I'm joining up with the Avid Chronic Zach Speed guys. and running in the 12 hours of Sebring. And I was short on practice. I practiced before I left town. I got some practice in the day before the race, but I didn't feel like I was able to give it the focus and attention that the event deserved. It turns out we made the top split. Turns out that I held my own. I had 2 different runs that day. One run was a little embarrassing, and that's something I want to talk to you about. I was in the top split, and I am not a driver of that caliber or level, or at least in my head I'm not. And I had to really get over the trauma of feeling like I was the slowest guy there. And I spent my whole first stint worrying about exactly that. And instead of driving at my best, I was worried about being the worst. And I think a big part of the Simpit, the pit stop, is sure giving you reviews, giving you the news, talking to you, but it's getting inside of our heads. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? You guys watch me race. You watch me beat myself up all the time. And you guys are always saying, hey, relax, take it easy. And you're 100% right. And I had a different mental trauma going on during the 12-hour event that I did cure mid-race, thank God, and was able to go on and do rather well for myself in the second half. Our team went on to finish 10th place. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Patrick, Timo, Mitchie, and everybody at Avid Chronic and Zach Speed. Had a really, really good time, and it was amazing being out there on track and looking at the names that I'm around going, I'm amongst gods, essentially. So, anyway, that also led to something else. If you watch that stream, I had my pathetic single camera view of what was going on, and it was hard to watch. It was out of focus. Yes, it kept you with the crew. It kept you watching what was going on all day long, but it was just not the quality that I demand. Over the weekend, despite having a lot of other work to do, I've corrected that. So, sorry, I'm going on a whole rant giving you guys so much other information beyond the sim racing news, but what you will see, and I might do a test stream today just to give you a show, you're going to see a lot better quality. You're going to see a capture of the actual game. You're going to see 3 cameras from here, and that will be for our next event or any racing videos that I do from this day forward. Yeah, Mikhail, it's Mikael, sorry. You know, especially in an endurance race, you go through a variety of emotions. And I remember somebody else in the chat asking me if I'd rather be the worst of the best split or the best of a lower split. And that's a really tough question, because on one hand, hey, winning is glorious. But at the same time, running against the best if you can hold your own. So when that question, and again, let's talk the mental aspects of things. If posed the question, would I be in the worst of that one or the best of this? Well, if I can hold my own, thank you guys on the beard. If I can hold my own, that's a really proud moment. And I think it rivals winning a lower split when you know you beat guys that you should beat, versus losing to guys that you know you should lose. So if you watch that race, or if you just taking my 2 different sessions, session 1 was embarrassing. Oh, I would have much rather have been in a lower split instead of getting passed by cars behind me in position. On the other hand, in the second run, I did so well that I was like, man, I love the idea that these guys are seeing Sean Cole in this light. So it was a proud moment for me, and thank you to all those guys. And I think we're going to bring that topic to a close. Next. All right. Anybody who watched IndyCar racing already knows what I'm about to show and talk about. So, big race this weekend. Opener for IndyCar. Best, most premier racing in America. Open-wheeled at least. And there was a big incident. So you had Wickens leading the race. Rookie to the series, Wickens leading the race. Alexander Rossi in second, as we get a 1-lap shootout. Actually, it was a 3-lap shootout. Well, 2-lap shootout, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. And look at this move. So Rossi gets a run, comes to the inside, loses it, and makes contact. So, of course, in lieu of this happening, the whole world is on fire about who is right, who is wrong. Should IndyCar have stepped in and done something? I'm going to play it for you one more time. I want your thoughts. What are your thoughts? And then I'll tell you mine. This is them taking a green flag after a caution. Rossi going to the inside. William Martinez calling it a dive bomb. And a little contact, and Wickens goes into the wall. And goes from first to worst. So, racing incident, no penalty. Spatial, I believe that is the way that IndyCar called it. I think on the spot. I don't know if there was post-race penalties given. But IndyCar went ahead and called that a racing incident. And William called it a dive bomb. And I think it's on that fine line. I don't know if it was a dive bomb. You gotta race for the win. He gotta run. He got all the way upside him. He is inside. His spotter at that moment would have had to have been saying, car inside. And you got to think, well, why did Wickens leave the door that open? You leave the door open like that, and you're inviting. Now, the problem is, Rossi can't hold that line, and gets a little brake lockup, a little wiggle, and just slides wide, and hits him. So, anyway, big moment, and I don't know. Here's where I'm coming from. I think IndyCar made the right call if they stayed on the no call. It's an unfortunate moment. It's really too bad for Wickens not getting his win. I'm not going to fault Rossi for making that move when he's seeing that much real estate. And as drivers, we make mistakes. Not a lot of room at that point for his car to have any wiggle or slide. And then a little contact's just enough to put Wickens into the wall. So, anyway, interesting moment. Next time you're in one of those racing incidents and you think that it was so atrocious what the other guy did, you might want to think, did I leave the door open a little too much? Did I give him the opportunity to take me out? That is the most important thing I take away from this. Did Wickens... Now, I will say Rossi played that perfectly, because if you go back to the straightaway, Wickens did make a move to the right, thinking about going inside and protecting. And he chose not to. Right here. Right there. You saw he could have gone over. And he could have stayed. And he didn't. That was the move right there, in my opinion. So that's going to take it to the end. That wasn't Sim Racing News. This is Sim Racing News. Over the weekend, Billy Strange, who's one of our patron members and he helped me set up the sprint car, the Silver Crown car for Phoenix last night in practice. Billy Strange has helped me with stream quality and a great many things. If you don't know Billy Strange, you should. He worked at Inside Sim Racing, and now he is Billy Strange Racing. And he had a broadcast with, of all characters, Jimmy Broadbent. So they are out trying out the new iRacing cars and having a little talk and drive. So if you haven't heard it already, you might want to download that on your phone and listen to it. It's a podcast, so it's audio only. But it is some great thoughts by two of the greatest minds in sim racing. So go check that out as well. And in closing, I have a few things to talk about. Number one, I put a challenge out for you guys to go after Hamilton and get that Project Cars victory. Could you better him? And so Daniel Anderson sent me photos as I had requested. And look at Daniel. Number 3 on the leaderboard in the default set. He beat that time, did exactly as I challenged, and congratulations to Daniel. And he has a little bit of history in this competition. You can see back here in February, he actually won. He won that World Time Attack Challenge. And in March, he was actually second. So, or is currently second in a different one. So, he has quite the history. Congratulations, Daniel. Yes, I did get your email, and thank you for sending it in. And I want you guys to go do these. If you have WRC, go after this Mexico one. Go see what you can do. Let me know. Let me know how you did. Keep sending me in your results. I want you guys to go show me what you can do online. I want you to challenge yourselves. Get into that mental aspect that I'm always talking about. See what you can do to improve yourself. And for me, when you really get into it like that, I think you start having some of the most fun you're going to have in sim racing too. So that's something you can definitely go challenge yourself. What else is going on today? Monday. Monday Fun Day. If you saw our pits opening screen, what is that? What are we doing? That's Monday Fun Day. That's what we're going to do tonight at 6 o'clock p.m. And what we are going to do tonight is Road Redemption. So I remember last week we were talking about Road Rash just a while back, and I think it's time to get some aggression out on the road. This should be fun, should lead to some good laughs. Don't know if it has wheel support or if I'll be playing it with the controller. We will be able to use our new streaming method, which should improve the quality of this one. So I have not even downloaded the game yet, haven't even bought it yet. I'm going to buy it right now, get it installed, find out what controls I can map and what graphics options I have, and then I'm going to stop playing because I really don't want to play. I just want to get it set up for the stream and then show it to you guys and have some fun tonight. So that'll be at 6 p.m., and that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the pit crew. I want to thank the pit crew, all of you out there. I also specifically want to thank some of the guys from Patreon, because this weekend we worked our butts off on the stream quality of what you're going to see later today with the Monday Fun Day. So thank you to the guys. Thank you, Billy. Thank you all. You know who you are. I talk to you guys every day, and we just hang out there and have fun. So that's going to do it. Get out there and race. Have yourselves a great racing week in sim racing. I know this kicks off week number 1 for iRacing and a lot of other great stuff going on in sim racing. So go have some fun. Get on track. Win some trophies. Have a good time. That's going to do it for today. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.